Hey, what's up, and welcome back to. Well, you know what? I probably shouldn't even be saying that to you. I'm going to say it to me because I'm the one who hasn't been around for a while. Welcome back, Chad. Thank you, Chad. So, this video, as you can see here in the playlist of my collection, I thought I was at the end, but maybe I'm not. We have a new addition to the family. But as always, my co-star is going to pull you in and I will take care of the rest.
Welcome back to my dad's channel. If you're new here, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to share.
Now, this approval really actually kind of surprised me because I didn't expect for it to happen. I am pretty much, shoot from the hip with my credit profile because it is so strong and it has so much, foundation under it. Every so often, I'll put some feelers out, check and see what's on the horizon, what's out there. Normally, I do so at the beginning of the year. That's why I got the Saver 1 at the beginning of 2024. As a matter of fact, I still do hold a record for the first approval. It was literally on January 1st, but who am I to toot my own horn? Toot. But in addition to my many approvals, I have also taken it on the chin a few times. I have been unceremoniously rejected from credit card applications. As a matter of fact, one thing that I do know for sure, and if you go back and look through my catalog, is I've never had an approval on a live stream. Every single credit card I've applied for on a live stream, I have been rejected for live on air. Yeah, so that's the thing. Never had a live approval. But obviously, by the cards that I do have, you know that I do get approvals. So, with that being said, I'm sure you want me to get to the point and tell you what the card is, and it is none other than the Citi Strata Premier. I have been on record on numerous occasions lamenting about how I am radioactive to people such as Citi and Capital One for the best cards that I wanted. And honestly, I put a feeler out, and because I've pretty much slowed down a lot of my inquiries because they are very inquiry sensitive, I put a feeler out for the new CSP, the Citi Strata Premier, and lo and behold, bada bing, bada boom, got an approval. I couldn't even believe it. I didn't expect it whatsoever. But hey, what's January without Chad getting another approval? And it's really a far cry from previous experiences with Citi. So, there it is. You see it. No reason to hide it. It's just a part of what happens. It's just what we deal with when we're in this game. What can I say? But let's get into it. So, what is it? You already know. This is the format. This is how we're running. It's a credit card. It's not a charge card. It's a credit card. They gave me a great limit, $12,000. So obviously, if you are unfamiliar, if you've watched a few of these, you can skip past this part. But for those of you who are unfamiliar, because it is a regular credit, a traditional credit card, there is a hard and fast limit, and you do have a grace period to pay your bill, which you can then carry over month to month if you want to carry a balance. I would highly not suggest it. I would not ever suggest carrying a balance if you can help it. I understand life happens, but this is not a charge card. This is not something where full payment is due at the end of the billing statement. So it's just a credit card and a plasticky one. Also, here's a point. I actually don't have the card yet. It's taken a little while for them to send it to me. It's probably going to be in the mail within the next day or two, or at least by the time this video is posted. So I actually don't have the physical card yet, but the approval is in, and we're still going to talk about the card. So how much is it? This card has a $95 annual fee, which is to be expected, especially when this is the card that is normally what I would call the gateway card for a Citi card setup. This card grants you access to the travel partners of Citi and their entire portal. So this, I expected to have to pay an annual fee for it. And it's not bad because it's actually one of the few cards that still has a $95 annual fee. There are certain people, let's see, it starts with an A and rhymes with American Express. I don't know. I'll get better at those as time goes by, but they barely even deal in $95 annual fee cards anymore. So, you know, it's a cost, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's what, like around about $8 a month. So it's no big deal. And as always, we get to the meat and potatoes. What's in it for me? Now, there is a bit of a list of things that I'm going to get from this card, so let's get right to it. First of all, I'm going to be getting 75,000 Citi thank you points for $4,000 worth of spend within the first 3 months of card ownership. So those 75,000 thank you points can be redeemed for $750 in gift cards, bill payments. I can transfer them out to Citi's transfer partners, and they have, I think, around 20 of them. And the fact is that Citi thank you points redeem at a penny a point, even when you do not use them for travel, which I think is pretty cool. Even though I'm going to be redeeming them for travel, make no mistake of that, because that is just my thing. But for those who do want to pay their bill or redeem them, you can at least get a penny a point for them, which is standard across the board, whether you're applying them as statement payments or you're getting gift cards, because they're really big on gift cards. And I can't log into the thing until I get the portal, until I get the actual, I can't log into the portal until I get the actual card. So anyway, sorry. I'm just, kind of overshooting it here, but that is what I'm going to be getting from the card. And then also access to their portal. They have a large amount of international carriers and JetBlue, and they have 5 hotel carriers. They even have a shopping portal, like a retail companion portal that is also accessible via your thank you points. In addition to that, the multipliers, multipliers, multipliers. I'll be getting 10x Citi thank you points for hotels, cars, and attractions booked through the Citi travel portal. If you know me, you know I like travel portals, especially ones run by the big banks. Like Chase is my absolute favorite. They tend to be very solid. You can deal directly with your bank. If there's an issue, I haven't really had an issue, so I look forward to seeing what Citi has to offer there. But 10x is 10x, and it actually coincides with the fact that this card does come with a $100 credit if you book a $500 hotel stay through the portal. So that it could be time for the wife and I to drive across town and have a staycation. We might take a weekend with the littles or all the kids and go somewhere and just get a hotel, get the 10x points, burn a credit, you know what I mean? Get our values worth of the $95 annual fee. We have options, and I'm looking forward to exploring those. This card is a World Elite MasterCard, thereby granting travel protections, which were absent from the Citi Premier, which I wanted so badly before. And I think at the time that I tried to get the Premier, it was like 80,000 points, it's 75,000 points, and I think it's actually a better card, especially because I'm a much more frequent traveler than the average bear. And to round it all off and put a bow on it, I have exposure to yet another ecosystem by which I can transfer points and pull points that I initially was very much so convinced over and over again and unceremoniously by Citi that I had no access to.
I spoke to a lovely representative and I explained to her the situation, told her my credit's good, and see, can you guys review it and reconsider it? So, how about this? She puts me on hold and then she comes back and she lets me know that Citi is standing behind their position and I'm still rejected.
Yeah, so that happened. Now, I was so happy to tell you about the 10x. I forgot to tell you about the rest of the multipliers. This part is also in it for me, and that is going to be 3x on air travel, 3x on hotel spend, 3x on, as a matter of fact, let me just stop saying 3x. It's 3x on all of these until I say something different. And that's air travel, hotels, hotel expenses, gas, supermarkets, restaurants, EV charging, and that's it. And then there's 1x on everything else. So this card covers a ton of everyday categories that almost everybody can make use of in one way, shape, or form. And that 3x on those travel categories, they work even if you use a third-party booking site like Expedia, Orbitz, and so on and so forth. It actually passes through as a travel expense. A lot of cards do not work that way unless you do a direct booking with the airline or the hotel partner. So for all of you that like to use TripAdvisor or whatever, you can still use that stuff also. So just to let you know, that's also in it for me, even though I don't use that stuff. But just in case I'm forced to and I put my card up, I still get 3x thank you points. And the not so goods. Well, the fact is that this Citi card, its travel partners are a strength and a weakness for the casual traveler. Finding that most of this card's travel partners are international carriers are initially going to be scary because most people don't understand that you can book American carriers through their alliances, because most people aren't like a lot of you who have made it their business to watch my masterclass videos on airline alliances. I've put out a few of them to let people know that all of these airlines are related, or at least the vast majority of them. So, just with a little bit of research, you can still book domestic trips with international carriers, but it's not something widely known or even widely practiced. So, that could be an issue. And that is really one of the biggest issues that I have with this card. Other than that, eh, it's not really that bad. Or at least I don't know it yet because I haven't really put it through its paces. So who's in its card family? Now, normally the cards that I get have direct competition, or at least some sort of anchor, some sort of counterbalance to them. Now, there are three cards that this card really comes for, and it's because of its multiplier base, and it's really set up the way that it can actually attack a lot of cards across the board. But the three that come to mind are the Capital One Saver card for its 3x in grocery and 3x in supermarkets, which the Citi Strata Premier has, even though the Saver has no annual fee. Another card that it really comes for is the Amex Green card. The Amex Green card has obviously, ancillary benefits, but that too is in the same wheelhouse as a CSP for the casual traveler, to give you elevated points. Like the Amex Green card has 3x on transit, like buses, trains, and so on and so forth, but it too has 3x on travel benefits, hotels, airfare. So you start to get a lot of overlap with some of the multipliers there. Now, in addition to that, another card that comes to mind is another very versatile 3x powerhouse, and that is none other than the no annual fee Wells Fargo autograph card. These cards are actually very, very similar in their 3x setups. This card, being a World Elite MasterCard, though, I think may have the edge even in MasterCard benefits over the Signature Visa that the autograph is, but these two cards could be cousins per se. But I'll tell you why. They probably might be a little further away the deeper you get into the credit card game in the next segment. So who's this card for? Very simple answer. Everybody. Everybody? Everybody. The reason being is that the card is just so damn versatile. You cover so many different things. I mean, literally, short of parking and transit, I mean, the card is one step below the green card. The green card is a gateway card, gets you access to Amex's ecosystem. This card, same thing with Citi, but the Amex card trades transit for a supermarket multiplier. You see where they're going with this? And now it's one step above the autograph card. And the reason being is because while the autograph card has extremely similar multipliers, they have very few a fraction. I think a quarter of the transfer partners that the Citi card has. Now, that's what puts it perfectly in between those two cards, and this definitely makes this card a player in the game as long as you can get it, because you have to remember Citi as an issuer is very inquiry sensitive. And I noticed that when I applied, I think I got the card because I really haven't been applying for any new cards because I was very comfortable in my end game status. I had already Thanos snapped and just decided certain cards were not for me, and now this has opened up another realm of possibilities. But this card is for everyone: the weekend warrior, the casual traveler. To tell you the truth, even if you are a seasoned vet in the game, for exposure to an ecosystem and exposure to some of the travel partners that other cards don't have, especially some of the, like Allacor Live, like some of the other hotel partners that aren't readily available on anyone else's ecosystem, is definitely something worth exploring, especially if you like using MasterCards that you can link with portals like Simply Miles or other portals that are issuer specific that help you gain points in other ecosystems. So that is definitely something to think about. Just remember, this card can actually snugly fit into a lot of people's portfolios, and I think I would be hard pressed to not be able to find a place for it in someone's wallet at any given time. So that is who this card is for. And most importantly, it's for me, this guy right here. So there you have it. Newest member of the family, newest member of the collection. When I get the physical card, it'll be great. I've actually seen them in person though. It's pretty plasticky, but it doesn't really matter to me what a card's made of per se. It's not really a deal breaker for me. It could be flimsy plastic, it could be shiny metal. As long as the magnetic strip works, as long as it is accepted at retailers that I deal with, that's pretty much all I care about. So thank you so much for coming through and checking out a new member of the family. I appreciate you guys watching. And without further ado, the pointy thing is still in effect. Don't ever think the pointy thing is not going to happen. But with that, I thank you and I will see you later. I didn't want to do the double point because that's a Luke thing and that's not my thing. But the pointy thing is my thing. He does the other thing because he's a big guy. But that's the thing. But anyway, I'm babbling. Pointy thing. Pointy thing. Take it easy.